The sky above Earth was calm, until one day everything changed. A massive alien fleet appeared out of nowhere. It was unlike anything humanity had ever seen. The ships were enormous, glowing with strange lights and pulsing with energy. They hovered above Earth's atmosphere, blocking out the sun with their sheer size. It was as if the entire sky had darkened, and the world had been cast into a shadow of doom. The aliens didn't waste time. As soon as they appeared, their leader's voice echoed across every communication channel on Earth. The message was simple, chilling, and direct. Kneel before us, or face destruction. It wasn't a request, it was an ultimatum. Across the globe, panic spread quickly. People froze in fear, staring at the sky as the alien fleet hovered ominously above. Governments scrambled to respond, but there was no immediate plan. Earth had never faced anything like this before. The world's most advanced military forces were put on high alert, ready to act, but no one was sure what they were up against. The alien ships were not only huge, but also appeared to be protected by some kind of shield, something no human weapon had ever been able to penetrate. In the major cities, chaos erupted. People were terrified. News outlets were flooded with reports of strange alien ships in the sky, and social media exploded with fear, confusion, and panic. As the world's leaders came together to discuss a plan, the situation only seemed to get worse. The aliens made no move to land. Instead, they began targeting Earth's most important cities. Without warning, a powerful laser beam shot out from one of the alien ships. The beam was so intense that it cut through the tallest skyscrapers like they were made of paper. It destroyed entire blocks in seconds. The world watched in horror as this advanced alien technology devastated major capitals, leaving them in ruins. The aliens didn't stop there. Every time one city was destroyed, the others were warned that they would be next. The terrifying message was clear. Earth was at their mercy. Governments had no choice but to prepare for a full-scale defense, but the reality was grim. They didn't know how to fight an enemy with such overwhelming power. As Earth's military forces gathered, there was a growing sense of helplessness. The alien ships used cloaking technology, making them nearly invisible to Earth's radar. They could attack from the sky, and humans had no idea where the next strike would come from. This wasn't just an invasion. It was a game of survival, and Earth didn't have the upper hand. Humanity's first response was a mixture of fear and desperation. Nations that had once fought against each other now united, putting aside their differences to defend their home. The best minds in science and technology were called upon to find a solution, but time was running out. The aliens had shown their power, and humans had no way of knowing how to counter it. The military's top generals met, formulating plans to strike back. They sent jets and fighter planes into the sky, hoping to catch the aliens off guard, but the alien ships were too fast and too powerful. The humans' weapons bounced harmlessly off the alien shields. As the air forces were wiped out, the grim truth set in. Nothing the humans had could stop them. As cities fell one by one, panic gave way to hopelessness. Earth's survival seemed impossible. With each attack, humanity's options dwindled, and yet the alien fleet showed no signs of relenting. They were an unstoppable force, their weapons far beyond anything humans had ever imagined. It was clear now that Earth was facing its greatest challenge, an enemy that had no intention of negotiating, only of conquering. The fear and tension were unbearable. People knew they were facing extinction, but what could they do? How could they fight an enemy so advanced? In every military meeting, the question was the same. What do we do now? The clock was ticking. Earth had only moments before the aliens made their next move, and it was clear that no one had the answers. In those critical moments, a few brave men and women, scientists, military leaders, and ordinary citizens began to wonder, could they find a way to turn the tide? With time running out, humanity had to act. But as they scrambled to defend themselves, the alien fleet loomed above, preparing for the next attack. They had made their demands, and now it was up to humanity to decide. Would they kneel, or would they fight back? The suspense was unbearable. Humans had no weapon that could stand up to the aliens, no plan that could possibly succeed. But something deep inside them stirred. Could they really accept defeat without trying? Could they surrender without a fight? As the alien fleet prepared for its next strike, something else began to stir, a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, humanity wasn't as powerless as the aliens thought. But it was too early to know for sure. The battle for Earth was just beginning, and humanity's greatest test was about to unfold. As Earth's cities lay in ruins, and the alien fleet continued its devastating assault, humanity's greatest minds were forced into overdrive. In the chaos of war, the world's most brilliant scientists, engineers, and military leaders gathered in secret. Together, they brainstormed, worked tirelessly, and combined every ounce of human ingenuity to create a plan, a counterattack against the seemingly unbeatable alien forces. The first priority was clear. They had to find a way to disable the alien ship's cloaking devices. These cloaks had made the aliens nearly invisible to Earth's radar, and the very technology that had allowed the aliens to strike at will now seemed like an insurmountable barrier. For days, the world's top engineers and AI experts collaborated to figure out how to neutralize this advanced weapon. They knew that if they could track the alien ships, they'd have a chance to fight back. Then, in the middle of the frantic search for a solution, a breakthrough came. Deep within a classified government vault, an ancient alien artifact was discovered. It was an old metallic object, covered in strange symbols, and completely foreign to anything humanity had ever seen. Some believed it was an ancient relic, possibly left behind by a race long gone. Others thought it could be a weapon. Regardless, the scientists now had their most valuable lead. The artifact contained traces of energy that matched the alien technology they had been trying to understand. It could be the key to disabling the cloaking devices. The artifact was carefully examined and reverse engineered. Within hours, a plan was devised to harness its power. The scientists worked day and night, modifying the artifact to work with Earth's current technology. They were developing a device that could disrupt the alien fleet's cloaking, making them visible for the first time. It was a small victory, but in a war that had seemed hopeless, it was the first glimmer of hope humanity had seen. But there was still one massive problem. Earth's military was still no match for the alien fleet's firepower and advanced defenses. The aliens had superior weapons, shields that were nearly impenetrable, and the ability to destroy entire cities in a single strike. Humanity needed a miracle, and they were about to get one. A small, elite military group was assembled, led by an experienced soldier named Bonner. Bonner was no ordinary soldier. He was a seasoned fighter, calm under pressure, and known for his ability to think on his feet. But most importantly, he was driven by a sense of duty to protect Earth. He had lost friends and comrades in the alien attacks, and he was determined to fight back. Bonner's team was made up of highly skilled soldiers, engineers, and tacticians. They were a diverse group, each bringing their own strengths to the mission. Together, they were tasked with infiltrating a key location where the aliens had set up a major communications hub. The mission was dangerous, and the odds of success were slim. But Bonner and his team were determined. They knew that if they could succeed, they would give humanity the fighting chance it desperately needed. As the team prepared to launch their counterattack, Earth's military had developed a new weapon: eye-controlled drones and robotic tanks. These machines, powered by the AI that had been developed to combat the aliens, were equipped with advanced weapons designed to overwhelm the alien fleet's defenses. The hope was that these machines could create enough of a distraction to allow Bonner's team to carry out their mission. The team launched their attack under the cover of night, their movements swift and silent. They used cloaking technology of their own to remain hidden as they approached the alien base. As they got closer, the suspense built. They knew that one wrong move could mean the end, but they also knew that the fate of Earth rested on their success. Meanwhile, the eye-controlled drones and robotic tanks began their assault. The robots, each equipped with heavy artillery and laser weapons, charged forward with relentless force. They fired at the alien ships, sending blasts of energy and explosions into the sky. The ground shook with each impact as the robotic tanks rolled forward, firing on all cylinders. The alien ships, momentarily disrupted by the sudden appearance of Earth's new weaponry, attempted to retaliate. But the humans' robots were fast and agile, able to avoid the aliens' attacks with precision. The eye-controlled drones swooped in, firing high-powered lasers at the alien ships' weak spots. It was a stunning display of firepower and strategy, as humanity's technological advancements began to show their worth. Back on the ground, Bonner's team was closing in on the alien communications hub. They moved quickly, relying on stealth and teamwork to navigate through the alien-controlled territory. Every step was a calculated risk. They knew that at any moment, they could be discovered by the aliens' advanced sensors. But they pressed on, determined to complete the mission. As they neared the communications hub, they encountered heavy resistance. Alien soldiers, robotic sentries, and automated defense systems all stood in their way. Bonner's team fought fiercely, using their training and advanced weaponry to take down their enemies one by one. The close-quarters combat was intense, each battle more brutal than the last. It was a true test of their willpower and skill. Bonner, leading the charge, fought with a ferocity that only someone who had lost everything could. He pushed forward, his team following closely behind. Each alien soldier they encountered was swiftly dealt with, and with each victory, their confidence grew. The humans were no longer cowering before the alien invaders. They were fighting back. The visual details were striking as the battle raged on. The eye-controlled drones zipped through the air, cloaking and reappearing in flashes, firing lasers at the alien ships. The robotic tanks rolled through the alien base, crushing everything in their path. Meanwhile, on the ground, Bonner and his team navigated through enemy lines, battling with incredible precision. Finally, they reached the communications hub. It was a massive, heavily guarded facility, but the team was ready. They set their charges, placed the device to disable the alien communications, and prepared to make their escape. But as they did, a sudden explosion rocked the base. The aliens had discovered them. The countdown to their mission's success had begun, and the fate of Earth rested in their hands. Would they escape in time, or would this mission be their last? The night before the attack, Bonner and his team gathered in their makeshift command center. Their mission was about to take a dangerous turn, but they had no choice but to fight back. The alien invasion had already cost them so much. Bonner, though shaken by the deaths of countless civilians, was resolute. He could see the fear in his soldiers' eyes, but he knew that it was this fear that would fuel their determination. It was no longer about survival. It was about fighting for the future of humanity. The device they had worked so hard to develop had finally been deployed. The ancient alien artifact, combined with Earth's own cutting-edge technology, had managed to disable the cloaking devices of the alien ships. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity had a fighting chance. The skies were no longer filled with invisible death from above. The aliens were now visible, vulnerable. It was a moment that felt like a miracle, but it was only the beginning of what was to come. As Earth's military forces launched their attack, the air crackled with tension. The alien fleet, once seemingly unstoppable, now faced the full force of human ingenuity. The drones, now able to track the alien ships with ease, swarmed the sky like angry hornets. Robotic tanks, armed with heavy artillery, advanced relentlessly, firing at the enemy with precision and power. But the aliens, though momentarily shocked, quickly regrouped. Their command ships, the heart of their fleet, were now under attack, and their response was swift and brutal. The battle between the two forces was fierce, like nothing humanity had ever experienced before. It wasn't just a war of technology. It was a war of will. Bonner's team, despite being outnumbered and outgunned, had an advantage the aliens didn't understand: the human spirit. They fought with desperation and tenacity, using every trick and tactic they had learned during their training. The humans became ghosts in the shadows, moving quickly and striking hard. Bonner and his team knew they couldn't take on the alien forces head-on. The aliens were too powerful, their ships too well protected. So they relied on guerrilla tactics, using the terrain and their knowledge of the alien defenses to outsmart them. They struck in small, focused bursts, disabling alien sentries, taking down alien soldiers, and cutting off their communication lines. It was a fight of attrition, one where the humans had to outlast their enemies and force them to make mistakes. The first few hours of the battle were intense. The sound of explosions filled the air as alien ships dropped bombs, trying to scatter the human forces. But the humans had anticipated this. The drones and robotic tanks acted as decoys, drawing the enemy's fire while Bonner's team infiltrated the alien bases. Each member of the team had a role to play, and every move was calculated. They were like a well-oiled machine, working together with precision. The most crucial part of their mission was the capture of a key alien commander who held the knowledge of the alien fleet's movements and strategies. If they could get to him, they would have the upper hand. Bonner and his team fought their way through the heart of the alien defenses, knowing that time was running out. They couldn't afford to fail. But as they neared their target, tragedy struck. They encountered heavier resistance than expected. Alien defense mechanisms, designed to protect their commanders, were far more advanced than anything humanity had ever seen. Laser turrets, force fields, and highly trained alien soldiers stood in their way. Bonner's team fought valiantly, but they were outnumbered, and the losses began to mount. In the midst of the chaos, one of Bonner's closest friends, a soldier named Riley, was struck down by an alien sniper. Riley had been Bonner's right hand throughout the campaign, and his loss hit the team hard. As the life drained from Riley's body, Bonner's heart broke, but there was no time to mourn. The mission had to continue. Riley's sacrifice had to mean something. Bonner's team pushed forward, their resolve strengthened by the memory of their fallen comrade. Each step became harder, the alien resistance fiercer, but they couldn't stop now. They had come too far, and the chance to defeat the alien invaders was within their grasp. The loss of Riley had fueled something deep within them. The fight was no longer just about survival. It was about avenging their fallen friend and protecting their planet. As they reached the alien commander's chamber, the final showdown began. The air was thick with tension as Bonner and his team fought their way through the last line of defense. The alien soldiers were relentless, but the humans, driven by grief and anger, fought with a fury that the aliens hadn't anticipated. Every punch, every shot, was filled with emotion, with the memory of the lives lost and the promise of victory. Bonner's team managed to breach the commander's chamber, but they were met with one final obstacle. The alien commander was surrounded by a powerful energy shield, his personal defense system. It seemed impenetrable. But Bonner, with the knowledge and skills he had acquired, saw an opening. He used the alien artifact, the very one that had disabled the cloaking devices, to disrupt the shield. The shield flickered, and in that split second, Bonner and his team took their shot. They overwhelmed the alien commander, capturing him alive. As the commander fell to the ground, Bonner's team stood victorious. But the price had been high. Riley was gone, and many others had fallen in battle. The emotional weight of the victory was overwhelming, but they knew that this was only the beginning. The alien fleet had been struck a devastating blow, but the war was far from over. The humans had shown the aliens that they were not to be underestimated. They had struck back with everything they had, and against all odds, they had won the first round. But the alien forces would not give up easily. They would return, stronger and more determined than ever. And humanity would be ready. As the human forces celebrated their hard-earned victory, little did they know that the war was far from over. The alien empire, shaken by their initial defeat, had already begun to regroup. Their technology, while incredible, had been temporarily disabled. But the aliens were not fools. They quickly realized that despite their loss, they still had the resources and firepower to obliterate Earth. A new wave of alien ships emerged from the depths of space, larger and more advanced than before. The humans had put up a strong defense, but the aliens had learned from their earlier mistakes. This time, they weren't going to make the same errors. With their full force now focused on Earth, they began their assault. Planetary defense systems that had once been formidable now struggled to keep up with the alien onslaught. The skies darkened as the first wave of massive ships began their bombardment. The world held its breath. The humans had gained ground, but would it be enough? The intensity of the battle escalated quickly. Earth's defense systems, already pushed to the brink, began to fail one by one. Alien laser beams rained down, carving through buildings, cities, and military strongholds with terrifying ease. The Earth's forces fought valiantly, but it seemed like every move they made only led to further destruction. Humanity's advanced weapons, while effective in smaller skirmishes, were no match for the sheer power of the alien fleet. They were fighting against an enemy that had superior technology and endless resources at their disposal. But humanity, as it had done before, refused to give up. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, a new force entered the fray. Deep within the human defense network, a group of scientists had been working on a secret weapon. Using the knowledge they had gained from the alien technology, they developed something that could turn the tide of the war: quantum computing. This weapon, still in its early stages of development, had the potential to hack into the alien fleet's systems and disrupt their operations. The moment arrived. The quantum computer was activated. Through its powerful algorithms and lightning-fast calculations, the computer began hacking into the alien systems, slowly but surely gaining control over their ships. The humans were able to seize control of the alien drones and turn them against their masters. It was a victory of human intelligence over alien brute force. Now, the human forces had an army of robotic drones at their command. As the alien fleet loomed large over Earth, they found themselves surrounded. The robot army, now fully under human control, launched a devastating assault from all directions. The aliens, once the hunters, were now the hunted. The tables had turned, and the battle was more intense than ever. The sky was filled with explosions as the humans' newfound strength clashed against the might of the alien invaders. In the heart of the battle, Bonner and his team fought alongside their robotic allies. The streets were a battleground, filled with the sounds of gunfire, explosions, and the screeching of metal as human soldiers clashed with alien forces. Bonner's face was covered in dirt and sweat, his eyes burning with determination. Every step forward was met with resistance, but they kept pushing, one after another, showing the aliens that they would not back down. But despite the advantage they had gained, the humans were still facing overwhelming odds. The alien fleet had regrouped, and their ships, more powerful than before, continued to bombard the planet. The ground shook as the bombs fell, causing massive destruction. Some of the human soldiers began to lose hope, but Bonner kept pushing them forward. They had already lost so much. There was no turning back now. As the battle raged on, more sacrifices were made. One by one, Bonner's team faced the reality of war. Their friends and comrades fell in the line of duty, giving everything for the cause. It was the price of freedom, and they knew it. But with every life lost, the humans grew more determined. The alien fleet was losing ground. The once mighty invaders were now on the defensive, unable to fight back against the relentless assault of Earth's forces. The visuals of the battle were nothing short of cinematic. The skies were lit up with explosions as orbital bombardments rained down on the alien ships. Massive fireballs bloomed in space as human missiles found their marks, tearing through alien shields and causing devastating damage. The air was thick with smoke and the smell of burning metal as the world fought for its survival. The ground shook with each explosion, sending shockwaves through the cities. The robotic drones, once silent and obedient, now moved with deadly precision, cutting down alien forces wherever they went. As Bonner and his team made their way to the heart of the alien command ship, the final twist came. Despite their successes, the alien empire still had one last weapon, a super weapon capable of wiping out Earth in a single strike. It was hidden deep within their command ship, and only by destroying it could the humans ensure their victory. But the closer they got, the more they realized that their time was running out. The super weapon was already charging, and the alien commander had one final trick up his sleeve. As Bonner prepared to make his move, the air seemed to freeze. The stakes had never been higher. The humans were facing their greatest challenge yet, with everything they had fought for on the line. Would they be able to destroy the superweapon and save the Earth? Or would the aliens pull off a devastating counterattack, ending humanity's hopes once and for all? The battle was far from over, and the outcome hung in the balance. The battle for Earth had reached its breaking point. Every last drop of strength, every ounce of courage, had been poured into this moment. The alien empire, once so confident in its superiority, now found itself facing an enemy it had vastly underestimated. The time had come for humanity's final counteroffensive, a push that would determine whether Earth would survive or be reduced to rubble under the aliens' crushing might. The humans had already proven that they could fight back, but now it was time to show the aliens the full extent of their power. The tides of war had shifted. The AI-controlled robots, now fully integrated with the best human military tactics, became a perfect blend of precision and brute force. The once feared alien fleet, which had obliterated cities and decimated human defenses, was now surrounded on all sides. The Earth itself, battered but unbroken, was ready for the final stand. The sound of engines roared as human forces, led by Bonner and his comrades, launched their counteroffensive. The skies, once darkened by alien ships, now lit up with the bright flashes of human missiles and laser beams. AI-controlled drones swarmed over the alien fleet, hacking into their systems with deadly accuracy. The robots, designed to adapt quickly to their enemies' tactics, outmaneuvered the aliens at every turn, crippling their defense lines and opening the way for human soldiers to charge forward. As the human forces closed in on the alien fleet, Bonner's heart raced. The battle had taken its toll. Friends and comrades had fallen, but there was no turning back now. They had come too far to lose. Every soldier fought with the knowledge that their planet's fate rested on their shoulders. Bonner's determination was unwavering as he and his team moved deeper into enemy territory, their sights set on the ultimate goal, the alien emperor. The final showdown was about to begin. Deep within the heart of the alien flagship, the alien emperor stood, watching the chaos unfold on the battlefield. He had once been the ruler of an empire that spanned across galaxies. He had once believed that the aliens were unstoppable. But now, as the human forces pushed forward, he could see his empire crumbling around him. The human resistance had proven more resourceful and resilient than he had ever imagined. The emperor's pride, which had once been his greatest strength, was now his greatest weakness. For the first time, he felt fear. The alien emperor, a towering figure in his dark armor, knew that his time was running out. The human forces were closing in on him. His empire was collapsing under the weight of their relentless attacks. Desperation seeped into his every move as he activated the superweapon, the very same weapon that could destroy Earth in an instant. It was his last hope, but even as he did, he knew that it was unlikely to save him now. His empire was too fractured. The power of the humans, their technology, and their sheer will to survive had become a force too powerful to stop. The final fight was inevitable. Bonner and his squad made their way through the heavily guarded corridors of the alien flagship. Every step forward was met with resistance. Alien soldiers, now on high alert, attempted to stop them at every turn, but the humans fought back with everything they had. Every blast from their weapons, every strike from their blades, brought them closer to their goal. But then, as they reached the inner sanctum of the flagship, tragedy struck. One of Bonner's closest allies, a soldier named Jackson, was struck down by a powerful alien attack. The loss hit Bonner hard, but he knew that they couldn't afford to stop. They had to keep moving forward, for Jackson, for Earth, and for everyone who had already given their lives for this fight. With grim determination, Bonner led his remaining soldiers into the heart of the Emperor's lair. The alien Emperor stood before them, surrounded by a force field, his expression filled with fury and frustration. The final confrontation was about to begin. The battle between Bonner and the alien Emperor was nothing short of epic. The Emperor, using his advanced technology, unleashed devastating attacks, each one more powerful than the last. His armor crackled with energy, his weapons charged with unimaginable force. But Bonner, despite the pain and the loss, fought with an intensity that matched the Emperor's own. His training, his drive, and the memory of his fallen comrades fueled every strike. He knew that this was it, the moment where everything would either be lost or won. For every powerful blow the Emperor landed, Bonner retaliated with equal force. The Emperor's power, however, was starting to fade. The AI-controlled drones, still under human command, had reached the inner sanctum, distracting the Emperor's guards and weakening his defenses. The human soldiers outside were making their way closer to the Emperor's control room, and soon the alien Empire's hold on the ship would be broken. In a final, desperate move, the alien Emperor activated his superweapon, aiming it directly at Earth. The countdown began. But Bonner, with one last surge of energy, pushed forward, driving his weapon deep into the Emperor's chest. The Emperor's roar echoed through the room as his body crumpled, the power of his empire withering away in an instant. With the Emperor's death, the alien forces faltered. The superweapon, now disabled, powered down. Earth's defense systems, which had been in disarray for so long, now kicked back into action, launching a final barrage of missiles that destroyed the remaining alien fleet. The tide had truly turned. The battle was won, but at a great cost. Bonner stood amidst the wreckage of the alien flagship, his body bruised and bloodied, his heart heavy with the weight of all those who had sacrificed everything. His comrades had given their lives for this victory. The Earth had been saved, but it was clear that the war had left its mark. As Bonner looked out over the remains of the alien fleet, he knew that humanity had won. The aliens had underestimated Earth, and now they would learn the cost of that mistake. But for Bonner and the soldiers who had fought beside him, the victory was bittersweet. They had turned the tide of history, but at what price? The Earth was safe, for now. The war was over, and Earth stood victorious. The once overbearing alien empire, who had come to destroy the very planet, now saw their power crumble before them. They had underestimated humanity, and in doing so, had paved the way for their own downfall. Earth was no longer the weak, helpless planet that the aliens had thought it to be. It had proven itself as a force to be reckoned with, and now the entire galaxy would know its name. As the last remnants of the alien fleet were scattered in the vastness of space, humanity took a moment to breathe. The soldiers, the scientists, and every citizen who had fought in the battle could finally rest. The victory had been costly, but it was a victory nonetheless. The planet was saved, and the aliens had been driven away. But there was more to this victory than just survival. Humanity had made a statement. They had shown the universe that they were capable of standing up against even the most powerful forces. In the aftermath of the war, Earth began to rebuild. Cities, once reduced to rubble, were being reconstructed with the knowledge gained from the war. The humans had learned so much in the heat of battle. New technologies, new strategies, and perhaps most importantly, the strength to push forward no matter the odds. They had come together in a way that no one had ever expected. And now, they stood on the brink of a new era. The power they had reclaimed was not just the strength of their armies, but the unity of their people, who had fought side by side to protect their home. However, the victory was not without its consequences. The aliens, once so confident in their superiority, were now broken. Their empire was in ruins, their fleets destroyed, and their forces scattered. But there was something else, something unexpected. The arrogance that had once fueled their desire to annihilate Earth had turned into something else: humility. The alien leaders, realizing that their empire had failed, were now forced to confront their own mistakes. They had underestimated the humans, and now they were faced with the reality that they had lost. The shock of their defeat sent ripples through the alien ranks. For years, they had viewed humanity as insignificant, but now they were faced with a different reality. The humans, who had once been at the mercy of their technology, had not only survived, but had emerged stronger. It was a humbling moment for the aliens, who now realized that their previous plans had been deeply flawed. Amidst the chaos of their shattered empire, the aliens began to reach out. The very same forces that had come to Earth to destroy it were now asking for peace. They wanted to negotiate. The alien leadership, battered and broken, recognized that they could no longer afford to continue the war. The humans had proven their resilience, and now the aliens were forced to acknowledge that any further conflict would only lead to mutual destruction. Human leaders, both military and diplomatic, took this opportunity to establish a new path forward. The negotiations were not easy, but they were necessary. The terms of peace were carefully crafted, ensuring that Earth's safety would be guaranteed and that the aliens would have to respect the boundaries set by humanity. The humans were no longer the underdogs. They were now in a position of power, and they would use that power to secure a future for themselves and for their planet. As the negotiations continued, there was a sense of unease in the air. No one trusted the aliens completely, not yet. The scars of the war were still fresh, and the memory of all those who had fallen in battle lingered in the minds of those who had survived. But as time passed, the prospect of peace became more real. The humans knew that they could not live in constant conflict. They had to move forward, to build a future that was better than the one they had just fought to survive. Humanity's leadership, now more united than ever, understood the weight of their newfound power. They knew that they had the opportunity to shape the future. The mistakes of the past had been left behind. And now, humanity had the chance to rebuild not just their world, but their entire future. The peace talks were an important step, but the real challenge lay ahead: creating a future that was not only free from alien threats, but one that would allow humanity to grow and thrive. With the war behind them, the humans turned their attention to the future. They had proven their strength, their intelligence, and their unity. They had won the respect of the galaxy, and now they had the chance to secure their place in it. But this victory was just the beginning. The challenges of rebuilding, of establishing new alliances, and of understanding their own potential were yet to come. In the years that followed, Earth became a symbol of resilience and hope. The lessons learned from the war, from the sacrifices made, would guide humanity as they moved forward. They had become a beacon in the galaxy, a shining example of what could be achieved when people came together and fought for their survival. The galaxy would no longer view Earth as a small, insignificant planet. They would see it for what it had become, a powerful force in its own right, ready to face whatever challenges the future held. And as Earth moved into this new age, Bonner, the soldier who had fought so tirelessly to protect his home, stood among the leaders. He had lost friends, he had sacrificed much, but in the end, he had helped bring about the change that the world needed. He knew that the future of humanity was bright, that the sacrifices of the past would lead to a better tomorrow. And with that, he looked to the stars, knowing that Earth had not only survived, but had emerged stronger than ever before. The aliens who had once come to Earth with the intention of destroying it were now part of a larger galaxy, a galaxy in which humans were no longer powerless, but a dominant force. The future was full of possibilities, and humanity was ready to face them. With the final peace secured, humanity stood on the precipice of a new era, their future brighter than ever. They had proven to the galaxy that Earth was not a place to be conquered, but a place to be respected. And in this new age of peace, they would forge their own path forward, one filled with hope, strength, and the promise of a better tomorrow.